Good morning. It's Plaid Day. I'm Stampin' Dee Dee, and this is Stampin' Thursday, and today is all about plaid. So thank you for joining me today. We are going to have fun. We are going to do some experimenting, and I'll show you some samples, and this is a fun stamp. It's just one big stamp, but it does so much. So here is the stamp itself, and I have it mounted on an F block, but you can also just use your stamp case. If you don't have the F block, you can use your stamp case. I didn't do that because I do have the F block, but you can do that. You can do that. So there's lots going on in the Stampin' Up world right now. Starting in just a week, you can order from the new mini catalog. September 4th, you can start ordering from the new mini catalog. And if you do not have a demonstrator and you do not have a catalog, let me know, and I'll get one to you. I'd love to help you out. I'd love to be your demonstrator if you don't have somebody that you're working with already. So just let me know. All right, and Stampin' Up is coming out with some new scrapbook kits, and I can't wait to get my hands on one. They're also available September 4th. And there are 4 kits out. So go to either your demonstrator's catalog page, your ordering page, or you can go to my ordering page. I would love, again, to help you with that. You can order from me and view the catalogs and whatever at deannablackman.stampinup.net. deannablackman.stampinup.net. That will take you to my business page, my storefront, if you want to call it that. And you can, in the search, type in scrapbook kits, and it'll bring those up, and you can read all about them. So, lots of new things happening. But right now, we're looking at Sketched Plaid. And we're going to see what all we can do with this. I look at fall as the plaid season. You know, you see lots of madras type things, plaids, oranges and browns and yellows and greens, and so I think of fall as a plaid season. So let's get with this. Let me set this aside, and I want to show you how I do this. Now, not everybody does it the same way, but we're going to just create a simple plaid, and I'm going to do this one with Melon Mambo. So I'm going to ink up, and you need to watch and make sure you're getting good coverage. It's a big stamp, so you can kind of look off to the side and see where you need to add a little more ink. If it doesn't have a little bit of a shine, then that tells you that probably you could use a little more ink there. So I think I have got this good and inked up. You want to go around the edges and the middle. You want to get the middle real good. So I think we're good with this. Now, a trick that I will show you is to take a Post-it note, and I'm using an 8.5 or a 4 1/4 by 5.5 sheet here, and I'm going to put my Post-it note right on the back, and this is going to be my handle to lift this up, and then I'm going to set this down right on top of it. All right, I've got this ready to go, and now I'm going to put just a sheet of paper on top of that. You can see where I've used it. A sheet of scratch paper. And you can use your fingers like this, but our fingers have spaces in between them, and sometimes we tend to miss. So just get one of your acrylic blocks, but always hold on. Always hold on. You don't want it to move, but you can move your hand around. And I'm going all around this, especially around the edges, pressing down with my block. And then the middle, you want to be sure and get the middle. So I think I have covered it. I want that cardstock to soak up the ink. So I'll move my top sheet. And now I'm going to lift up with my little handle here. I'm going to lift straight up. And there we go. There is our plaid. Oh, I did it. I did it on the side that I wrote Melon Mambo. So let me do this. Let me get my pencil. I meant to do it on the other side. Oh, here I go. So I'm just going to erase my pencil Melon Mambo. That was just to remind me what color I wanted to use. Because I'm forgetful. You know, I do these sometimes a week in advance. And I have to do little reminders. All right. So now we've got our Melon Mambo sheet. And now we have a big stamp with stuff all over it. The easiest way to do it is to pick it up and just go run it under the water. It just rolls right off. But I don't have a sink in here, so I wet a piece of old cloth that I use in my stamp room. And it's going to make it really yucky, but that's okay. It is okay. I'm going to get all of this off. Go over it several times. You could also use your chamois, but I didn't want to get my chamois this messed up. It's easy to take this piece of paper, this piece of cloth, rinse it, and throw it in the washing machine. It looks like I've got most of it off. We're ready for the next session. Let me make sure I've got in all those spaces. Yeah, pretty much. All right. So I'll move that aside. Now, here is our piece to use. And I'm going to show you first just using this simple pattern. So what I did was I took that piece. I used a countryside corner die and cut a section of it out and used it on this card. So I just wanted some plaid in the background. And I just inked my flower image. You could use any image on the front of this and put a sentiment on it. And I've got my card. Now I cut a little strip off the end, and that's what I put inside. Simple, using plaid. And then you've got this whole piece left. So what I'm going to demonstrate with what's left is how you could change it up a little bit. And here's what I did. I got out my catalog. Hopefully you have an annual catalog. I opened it to page 132, which is the color wheel. And Melon Mambo is the color I used. So here's Melon Mambo. And I'm going to go directly across from Melon Mambo. And I come to the green, blue-green. If I go across from the reds, it's green. So Melon Mambo is right there. So I grabbed Shy Shamrock. Shy Shamrock. Now, I could go with one of these colors, but I wanted to go with the color diagonally across, and I should have looked up. I know what they're called. I just used the color wheel. So I grabbed Shy Shamrock, and it is a coordinating color. And now I'm going to take my ruler, and I'm just demonstrating to you how we can change this up just a little bit. I'll take the I've got the light Shy Shamrock. I'll take my point, and I'm going to go in between these first two lines here, and I'm just going to draw a line. And then I'm going to come over to the next first two lines and draw a line again. And I'll do that one more time. Well, there really isn't any need to. It's already cut. Then I'm going to come to the third space and draw a line. So on this one, I want to come to the third space and draw a line. And then I'm going to use my dark Shy Shamrock. And I'm going to do that space in between. So this would be the second space. So the second space. All right. And so I'm going to turn it and do the same thing. I'm going to do the first space. Well, I'll go on and I've got this one up, so I'm going to do the second space with my dark. And I'm going to do the second space here with my dark. The second space here with my dark. And the second space here with my dark. Okay. And now I'll go back to my light Shy Shamrock. And I'll do the first and the third space with my light Shy Shamrock. Here and here. I could have gone from the other end. I didn't, but that's okay. We're creating our own plaid pattern here. Do this and this. And this time I'm going to need to go all the way across. Okay. And this. All right. So here we have a different plaid pattern and ready to use on something else. I don't have anything ready with this. Well, I'll tell you what I do have. I did use Petal Pink, and I filled in some areas. I don't know if you can see this with the Petal Pink. Move it down a little bit. So I filled in some areas, same idea. I just did it a little differently with the Petal Pink, just to add a different color. And then I pulled out the Petal Pink with my paper and my ribbon. So out of one piece of cardstock, you can actually do several, with one color stamp, you can do several different things. All right, I'm going to put that right over there. We also had, on this one, this is a card sample I made, and using just the basic one, just the basic stamp with one color. I think I used Early Espresso with this one. And just added, cut it in pieces and added a little bit to this card. So lots of ways. You can get a lot of embellishment type things or accent type pieces out of just one piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 sheet. Okay. Now, I wanted to add just a little more color. This is done with Pretty Peacock. And I want to take this just a step further. I'm going to add 4 colors. I'm I'm going to add 4 colors to this piece. So I'm going to grab my ruler again, and I'm going to start with this first. I'm going to go this way and add my 4 colors. This is light pecan pie. I'm going to use light pecan pie, light crumb cake, light lemon lolly, and dark crumb cake. These are the colors that I'm going to use on this. So I'm going to start here, and you know, I think I am going to use the brush tip. Hopefully I don't get out of the lines too much, but you know, even if you get out of the lines, it's okay. It is okay. This is a handmade, designed with love card, and if it's a little bit out of the line, it's okay. So I'm going to go the first one on each one of these. And I just use my ruler to keep me sort of in the same area. Sort of. All right. And I need to go over this one just a little bit more. All right, and then we're going to go to the first one here. Now I'm going to go back now and put all 4 colors in one section, and I'm not going to have you watch me do all of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can do another one right here in this last space to complete my plaid pattern here. All right, so let me go ahead, and I'm going to pick this space right here and add my second color, which is the light crumb cake. You could do any colors, any colors. This is going to be a much lighter shade. Okay? And then I would do that on all lines. And then I'm going to do my lemon lolly next. Here again, you can use your color wheel, or you can just pick color. Look at your designer series paper that you're going to use, or your embellishments that you're going to use. And then last is the dark crumb cake. I'm going to keep these in order because we're going to do one that way too. But I'm only going to do one, and then I have a sample already made up. I wanted you to see how easy this is. It's relaxing. It is. You know, they say those adult coloring books are relaxing, and I'm sure they are. I think this is relaxing. As long as you don't get stressed out about it. Don't let it stress you out. You don't have to stay exactly in the line. Nobody is going to criticize that. And a lot of times you can just cut around it and completely avoid where you got out of line. All right. Or you can put an embellishment. Put an image over it. Or there's so many things you can do to cover up your mistakes. And if you watch my videos very much, you know I make mistakes. All the time I make mistakes. And here we go with this one. Get the yellow done. Now you can see if I was filling in this whole thing, how pretty this would be. Okay. And this is the dark crumb cake. All right. So there's my sample. You could leave it like that. You know, I mean, you could do anything you want with this. You can see where I got out of the line a little bit, but I either won't use that or I'll put something over it. It won't matter. And so here then is the finished product. where oh, and you know what I did? Because I backed this on Pretty Peacock, I came along this way and did Pretty Peacock. So light and dark Pretty Peacock. But, all right, so you can see how many different ways there are to incorporate. It depends on what you use as your background, your card base. So I just used the Gone Fishing, and cut me out a beige crumb cake. This piece here, cut out a couple of extra cattails and glued them on the outside. I stamped a couple of fish and die cut those and put them inside, and I've got my card. You make life better. And inside you could put happy birthday, congratulations, thinking of you, get well, whatever you wanted to put. So using this technique, you can create a background like this. Okay, let's go on to the next. So next I took a green, and I don't think I did a sample. So I took a green, I just did it in probably garden green, and I added lines. And you know, if it begins to, let me grab my chamois. If it begins to build up on your ruler, just grab your wet chamois and go over the edge, and it comes right off. And if it doesn't come off, you can use a little bit of alcohol. But I'm not going to do that right now. I want the loose ink off of it. So what I did with this is I took probably pecan pie, and I just added lines. You know, in between the green, I added pecan pie lines going both directions. Isn't that neat? I mean, when you look at all the different ways that you can create a different pattern, I think it's so awesome. I love it. I love doing it. So what did I do with this? Well, I took the Scenic Pumpkin Patch and created a scene, added the Trucking Along pickup, and then I put that onto this background. So it just basically brought out the colors that I had already used and stamped some pumpkins inside. So another way to take your basic background, only stamp it once. But you know what I did on this one? Now that I'm thinking about it, I stamped it twice. So let me show you how to do that. All right, that's what I did. I didn't draw those lines. I stamped it twice. All right. So I'm going to ink it up in the green. So I'm going to get garden green. I'll get my garden green, ink it up, you have to really ink because you've got a lot of space to ink. I'm going to look and see. So if you're out there watching, let me know. Let me know if you're watching. If you're watching the replay, you can still comment and I'll see it. If you're watching on YouTube, I love your comments. I love to know if you have this stamp. Do you have it? Have you used it? Maybe a different way from what I'm doing. I would love to know that. All right, now I'm going to get my Post-it note. Put it on the back of my white cardstock. And I'm going to lay my cardstock down. I'm looking to see where the lines are. So I'm going to lay this down with the lines right at the edge. I'm going to put this right at the edge of my stamp. All right. get my piece of scrap paper. And you want to hold it down the whole time and get my block. And here we go. Now we're creating the green, the garden green. And now I'm going to switch hands so I can get this side really well. And get in the middle. All right, I hope I've covered it all. I think I have. Get this, pull it right up. Yes. Looks like right here, maybe a little bit, but no problem. We could actually take our marker and go over that. So I'm going to get this, get my handy dandy rag that I'm soon going to have to take in there and give it a good rinsing. But for now, it works great. It works great. These are old t-shirts. This is what I do with my husband's old t-shirts. When it's ready to throw them away, I grab them and cut them up into squares, and I keep a stash of them in here in my studio. All right, here we go. I think we're clean. And now we're going to add pecan pie. Good morning, Kay. I hope your day is going well. Thank you for being on here. Do you have the stamp? All right, now I'm going to ink up with the pecan pie. I may be shaking the camera, I'm not sure. All right, let's make sure we get this good and inked up. I think we have it. All right. And now I'm going to take the piece that I did the green on, and I'm going to move it to the left. Just, you know, I put it right here on the edge the first time. This time I'm going to move it over. Just to right, and I'm going to move it up just a little bit. Just to right here. Okay. Put my paper over it. Your paper is to catch the ink along the edges too, because there's plenty of it. Okay. Now we're adding our second color. I have had so much fun. You know, there are times when, like, I'm looking for something, just a little piece of designer paper with black. You know, a simple black pattern. And I found that I can take this and create just the black and use it, and it's just perfect. I mean, I don't have to have umpteen colors of a simple pattern. All right, let me go here. And I think we've got it. I think we've got our pecan pie. Take this off. Use my handle. Take this off. And looky here. There it is. Green and brown. Now, I moved it a little differently with this one. And you could always come on. It looks like, I don't know. I don't think I came in. It looks like I could have, though, on the second green. You know, I could have come in. I don't think I did, because it looks like some of these are thicker. But if you wanted to, or say you wanted, well, if you want to accent a color, then you could just come in, and this is the first, second, third. First, second, yeah. It's already dark. You could come in and darken it a little bit more. Make it a little darker, a little thicker. First, second, third. If the accent color on your project is this pecan pie, 1, 2, 3, then you could do that. See, it's already darker for some reason. It's just the pattern on the plaid. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And you could even add a third or fourth color this way. There. That changes the look of the pattern just a little bit, doesn't it? All right. And so I showed you what I did with that. And that I did with, I stamped twice. So, but look, both of these were stamped twice. Look at the difference. Isn't that awesome? All right. All right, let me set this aside. I'll come back to these. All right, so I thought, what else can I do with this? Let me clean this off just a little, just so I don't set my arm down in it. You know, I do that. That's how I get ink all over me. All over me. Okay, I think I've got it. All right, we're going to set that aside. So I thought, what else can I do? What else can I do? So, let me find here. So I had a sheet that I did in red and green. Just ignore that that's. And I went back and I added some red lines. And I cut this out with a tag from Designer Tags. And I created a Christmas tag from it. Now I want you to be sure and see this. I used images from the, what's it called? It's the Christmas ephemera. Let me put this down. This is the Joyful Sayings ephemera. I don't know how you pronounce that. Ephemera pack. And this is the Joyful Images ephemera pack. This one has tons of images. I used this one right here. It's got, I don't know how many sheets. 8 sheets. 4 different, 2 each of 4 different. So there's 2 of these and then others. And this one is the same thing. And I used an image from right here. The love, peace, joy, hope. I used that. But it's full of sayings. Christmas sentiments. Joyful Sayings ephemera pack. And Joyful Images. And these are both in the new catalog. And I'm actually going to do a Christmas tag class using these. Everybody's going to get one of each of these. We're going to make Christmas tags, and then they're going to have tons left over to go home and make more tags. So that's what I did. I did a Christmas tag. And what I did was I took this image that I cut out, and then I die cut it in half. I just used my, not die cut, I used my trimmer and went from one end to the other. This was what it was like initially. I cut it from one end to the other, used this half on my card. I did emboss my card base. Any embossing folder would work for that. Added my image and my sentiment and some twine. And I have a really, really cute Christmas tag. I want you to see the embossing. I don't know if you can see it. And then this image here, I put it on dimensionals, and then the sentiment on dimensionals. So then I'm going to take this half, and I didn't have time, but I'm going to take it and use it on another card, another tag. So I'll do this exact same thing, only this half will be on the tag. So 2 tags out of that one piece. But I thought, okay, I've got all of this left. What can I do with that? So I have a container that anytime I do multiple images, either die cut or use my Stampin' Blends and color, if I have leftovers, I throw them into that container. Let me show you my container. It's just a shoebox. It's a plastic shoebox. And I have so many images now. I was practicing using blending techniques on my birds, and I just, anytime I cut greenery and have leftover pieces, I dump them in here. Sentiment, these are the circles from the nature. What is that called? Oh, shoot. Spotlight on nature. These are die cuts from that. Here's the black and white one that I did for that card I showed you, the piece I have left. So I grabbed a bird. I grabbed a couple of birds that I had colored and die cut that were sitting in that box, and I knew it was the same red, this real red. I thought, you know, I am going to make a card out of that. I'm going to use this and make a card. And so that is going to be our demonstration for today. I'm going to use my mini cut and emboss. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to have to cut it down just a little bit. I'm going to cut it right here. I'm going to cut it right here. And I'm going to use the smaller, what did I do? Was I going to do it from that end? I don't think so. All right. It fit. I thought it fit. Maybe I used, these are the countryside corners. I guess I'll use the next smallest. Okay. It's these countryside corners. I'll just use the next smallest. There. That's going to fit. All right. And I'm going to cut that. Let me send that through. So now I've got this, and I am going to, and I'm going to set this aside because, you know, there's lots of things I can still do with that. I'm going to use, and so now maybe I'll use this second one. I got the next biggest size. So here's my white, and then I'm going to use real red. Or maybe I just want this size. I think I do. So I'm downsizing to the next size down, since I had to go down with my image, with my plaid. I'm going to go down with this. I'll use a little bit of tape just to keep it from moving around. Okay. I think that's it. Yep. Okay, I'm through with this. Set it aside. take this off. This one away because I switched to the smaller size. All right. Put that back on there. Now, so I've got a crumb cake card base. And I just decided that that would be a neutral color. I didn't want to use white. I wanted to use the white for this. So I think I'm going to do it like this. Put my birds on. My sentiment, I thought, okay, I'll do Thinking of You Always. And I'm just going to, and I think I'll do it in green, the garden green. I could do it in, like, say, pecan pie. But let's see what it looks like with the green. And I'm just going to trim it. Yeah, Thinking of You Always. And then I'll get my trimmer. And I'll trim it down to about the same width on both ends. And trim this to right there. All right. Got my sentiment. And I think I'll banner the ends. I think that looks nice. Especially if I don't use a label die. And I could have with this. So many different ways you could do it. Now let's see. I could go from this side. I may do that. And then I only have to banner one end. I think that'll work. What do you think? All right. There's so many different ways you could do this. You could offset this and banner both ends and put your sentiment up here. There's so many different ways you could do it. I kind of like that too. Now I could put ribbon right here. I think I'm going to go that way. Oh, I tell you what. And that's how you get creative juices flowing. You just try different things, move things around. That's how you do it. All right, so I'm going to put, let me grab my Stampin' Seal. And I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put it right in the center. I love that plaid. I love it. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to my card base. Adhere this. I'm moving it over just a little bit. There we go. I work to get things even. I don't see evenly. All right. I could pop this up. I'm going to put it down here. But I think I'm not. I think I'm going to pop my birds up. So I don't need two things popped up. And I am going to put ribbon on it, I think. All right, put this down here. Maybe over a little bit. I want to have room for the bird tail. Make sure here. Yeah. All right, and then I'll use dimensionals. Use regular dimensionals for this. I'll put them all around my bird. But I want to leave space around the edge because I do have some greenery that I pulled out of my box that I can tuck around. So I'm going to leave some space, especially up here where there's not a dimensional, so I can tuck those in. All right, we're going to put this right here. There we go. I'll go ahead and add my greenery. Now, these were not the garden green, but I figure, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I had them. They're going to look great. Doesn't take much glue. Right there. Got that one. I liked this one. I like that. These are just cut out of different sets. Different stamp and die sets. Stick this right in there. Right there. Oh, I've got glue on my fingers. And then this is just a random piece. I don't know where this one came from. But I'm going to tuck it in. Let's see. I'm going to tuck it in right there. Yep. That's what I'm going to do. Right there. All right. Just a background of greenery for my birds. And then these are going to go up with dimensionals. The sentiment piece. I could even overlap the red just a little bit. And with the green hanging over it. And I do want ribbon. I may use the green. I didn't get ribbon. Let me grab some. I think I'll use this green. Okay. Okay. This is garden green. So it'll be a little different than that greenery, but that's okay. Let's get a bow tied here. It doesn't need to be big. So I'm going to keep moving it down until I get it just the right size. I don't want the bow to be overpowering. Right there. I think I'll make it a little smaller. I don't want it to be in the bird's face. How about right there? Oh, perfect. Perfect, perfect. All right, put a glue dot. I'm actually going to use the other side of the bow. I often turn the bow over and use the other side because it looks a little neater. I don't know why. So we're going to put it right there. Right there. There we go. Trim the ends. All right, there we go. There, and I could put gems on there, and you'll notice I used 11 inch by 4.5 well, 4 1/4, and folded it at 5 1/2. There's our Christmas card using plaid, using leftover plaid. You know what I would probably do is take my Wink of Stella and color over the berries. I would probably do that. But there's our card. All right. So we have looked at the plaid, sketched plaid stamp and created quite a few different things. Some fall, some Christmas. Let's see. Some, neither one. Just using different patterns or using the patterns in different ways. So here we are. I don't know what, let's see what you can see. There we go. So, Owen, where is the tag? Let's see. Where's the Christmas tag? Here it is. Here's the Christmas tag in the midst of all of it. How about right there? So, I hope I've inspired you to give this stamp a try. Like I say, you don't have to have the big F block. You can use it with the stamp case, and you'll be just fine. All right, let me see if there are any more comments. Okay. All right, thank you for being here. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much for doing that. Kay, thanks for watching. You're so faithful to be here every time. And for those of you who watch it on YouTube, my subscribers, thank you for doing that. All right. God bless and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.